big announcement. I have a baby.
Say a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm coming with a really exciting video, and I'm so excited. So, I have a big announcement. I have a baby. When I say I have a baby, it's not the typical baby that you expect. It's not a little screaming, crying little child that is really annoying and constantly needs attention. It is a new business. So, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Mental Health and Sport is now a community interest company. Yay! I'm so freaking excited to announce this. I announced it on my Instagram, my personal Instagram. You're seeing it here. For anybody who's not following me, follow me on @DoddsToSwim on Instagram. That's my personal account. And yeah, I'm so excited. Like, it's been such a long time coming, and for such a long time it was just a campaign, but it wasn't really getting the credit that it needed because it is such an amazing movement, and I just felt like it needed more. So I looked into charity or business status and kind of reached something in the middle, which is a community interest company. So I'll explain a little bit more now. So basically, a community interest company is a fairly new type of company that utilises its profits and assets to benefit a community. Now, you get to choose what your community is, so it could be the people of Stirling, it could be the people of University of Stirling, it could be anything from as specific to as wide as you want. My community is Scottish sports clubs and governing bodies, just because that is who I want to benefit the most. And I thought it was too broad to say governing bodies, but I thought it was too narrow to just say sports clubs. So basically, my aim is to start working with sports clubs and governing bodies in Scotland to help them to produce a more effective and beneficial mental health framework that they can follow, that is self-sufficient and will benefit the athlete. Now, a CIC is basically a mix between a charity and a company. Now, obviously it's non-profit, which is similar to a charity, but it still runs like a business, if that makes any sense. So basically, Mental Health and Sport CIC, got to remember the CIC now, basically its assets will go towards the benefit of the community, so Scottish sports clubs and governing bodies. And basically, when you fill out the application, you have to basically say how your assets and profits are going to be used, what happens if the business goes under, blah, 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 kind of what you'd have to do anyway. And you have to outline your board and all sorts of financial stuff, like legal stuff that, I mean, I still don't really understand, to be honest. So, I have in front of me my declaration on formation of a CIC. It's basically the CIC 36. It was a document that I had to fill out, one of the documents that I had to fill out, and I thought I would take you guys through it just so that you guys know a little bit more about Mental Health and Sport CIC and the changes that have been made since it was a campaign. Now, obviously, originally it was just a campaign to promote mental health in athletes and the benefits and negatives, and kind of start a conversation around mental health in sport, and that's kind of how it started. Now, obviously, our aims have changed. I say our, it's my business, but that's still so weird to say. Obviously, when it grows, I would like to get more and more people involved and more staff and stuff like that, but obviously it's just a little baby at the moment. So, this is my community interest statement. Mental Health and Sport CIC will provide support to Scottish sporting governing bodies and sports clubs to develop their mental health specific structures and strategies to support athletes struggling with mental illness. Now, obviously, this is totally different to what it used to be. The campaign statement was to start a conversation and end stigma to encourage governing bodies. So we've just went that one step further from saying that we want governing bodies to make a difference, to being a driving force into how they can change and make a difference. So obviously originally we just wanted I just wanted to encourage governing bodies to kind of look at their frameworks. Now it is going to be what governing bodies or sports clubs can go to change their frameworks. So obviously that involves a lot more training, that involves a lot more stuff. I'll get into that a little bit later. So the two main activities, basically you had to fill out your activities and related benefit in the application, and obviously there are so many more activities that I want to do with Mental Health and Sport CIC, but I just want to outline two very basic ones to start with and then hopefully expand and make it better. So the first one is to provide free mental health training for any coaches, team managers and volunteers of Scottish sports clubs and governing bodies. So the reasoning behind this is often coaches have insufficient training and knowledge in any mental illness or mental health related issues. And a lot of the time athletes go to their coach, go to their team manager, go to anybody in their sports club and ask for help because they are the people that they are closest to. And often these guys don't have the training. Now sometimes they can do a really good job and use their logic as to how to benefit the athlete, and sometimes they can actually make it worse for the situation. So what I want to see through Mental Health and Sport CIC is for more coaches, more volunteers and more team managers to be trained in mental health first aid and recognise the signs and symptoms of a mental illness, and therefore use that to help an athlete and prevent the onset of mental illness in athletes. Because mental illness is such a common thing in athletes, and there's not really a reasoning behind it because, well, there is, but there shouldn't be, because sport, physiologically, it triggers serotonin release. And the only reason why that is because there is such a pressurized environment and it is such a closed field and there is insufficient training in it. That's the only reason that I can personally see, and shoot me if that's wrong. I am honestly open to any ideas, but I think that coaches and volunteers should be trained in this, and I just don't see why they're not. The second activity is to provide the tools necessary to ensure that there is a self-sufficient mental health structure in place to support athletes and coaches. Now, obviously, let's just say, for example, let's say Jeffrey is a coach in his local running club, and little Johnny is his athlete who has really been struggling with suicidal thoughts and depression, and he doesn't know what to do. Now he goes to Jeffrey and says, look, I'm having these thoughts. There is no support, there's no specific strategy in place within sports clubs to deal with helping little Johnny, but also considering Jeffrey in this situation. There is a lack of support for everybody in sports clubs relating to mental illness. And that's not even the person suffering, that could be the people around. Now let's just say, for example, that, you know, things get really hard, things get really negative, and little Johnny is either self-harming or trying to undertake suicidal tendencies and trying to follow a plan. What support is there for little Jeffrey, for big Jeffrey? Nothing. There's nothing. He's obviously a mentor, and a lot of coaches are like parents to these athletes, and for them to have to deal with and help little Johnny, it can be really daunting, it can be really challenging, and it could actually negatively impact their mental health. And clubs and governing bodies need to have a framework in place to support not only the athlete but the coaches, volunteers and team managers involved in the sport. And that is what I want from Mental Health and Sport CIC. That's basically what I want. I want everybody to receive the mental health awareness and knowledge that they need to have in sport. So, moving forward, what is going on in, I'm going to abbreviate it to MHISCIC because it just so much easier than saying Mental Health and Sport CIC. And from there, basically it goes to you guys. So obviously this is a very young baby, and babies don't grow without support and external impacts from other people. You know, you get your mum, your dad, your family members to help to grow this baby. That's what we need. So we, as a company, it's really weird saying we. Like, I used to get told off for saying we, and now I'm saying we, and it's actually a legit we. Anyway, we said we too much now. MHIS-CIC, it doesn't roll off the tongue as much. MHIS-CIC will be holding an event. The date is here. It's on the screen now. You can get your tickets below. And basically the event will be almost like a fundraiser for the business. So basically the event will be a one-day event. It will be held at Dan Hancock Fitness, and that's in Stirling. And it will basically be a day-long, kind of like a expo kind of thing. And there will be a yoga class, a fitness class, there will be presentations from a sports psychologist, there will be suicide prevention tactics, there will be a little bit of first aid for mental health, and a bit of everything really, all linked into that one day. And yeah, the details are on the screen of how much you can buy the ticket and where you can buy the ticket. The link will be below as well, and yeah, I hope to see some of you guys there. Obviously there is a limit on how many people we can have. I don't expect it to be overly mad busy, but because obviously it's in a small area, we do want to limit the number of people that will be there, just because of fire regulations and stuff like that. So all of the funds that are earned there will go towards helping sports clubs and the governing bodies. So basically any money that the company earns will go into the company. It will not go into like me at all. And yeah, that's basically everything. So I'm super excited to see what happens in the future for mental health and sport CIC. I really want it to grow. I think that there is nothing else out there, because there are a lot of charities and there are a lot of institutes and stuff like that do help, but they are normally very sport specific and they don't normally help every sport. And I think that mental health and sport CIC, I had a vision, I wanted to make it into a thing, and do you know what, I've done that, and I'm so proud to be sat here as the director of it. And yeah, I'm super excited to see what happens in the future, and it's just so surreal. It's not quite sunk in yet, but yeah, that's basically my big news. I'm so excited. So please follow Mental Health and Sport on Instagram. Please get involved, donate, help us, share us, talk about us on Facebook, talk about us to your friends and family, get us out there. And yeah, I'm so excited and so happy, and I'm super excited to help the sport, that like any sport, and UK sport and Scottish sport and Sport Scotland, and get involved. And I'm just so excited to see where it goes. So I really hope this video's kind of cleared things up. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Click the subscribe button to see more videos from me if you like my content. I post fairly regularly about all things mental health, uni, swimming, lifestyle kind of thing. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. I love you guys so much. Bye!